enjoyed today's meeting and come back again. If you're interested in learning about membership, Ricky can help you out. Ricky, raise your hand. I want to welcome all our poker event sponsors, and I want to thank our greeter today, Tom Fox, who had to step out to go pick up his grandson. Oh, there he is.
He's back.
He's back. And Sherry Simone, our attendance taker. And I'd like to thank, of course, Ricky for doing the technology every time we're here. And yes. Kathy Alameda and Dave Boston for their work at the front desk. And Bill Evans for making our assignments for each meeting. And Heidi for doing our program. At this time, I'd like to ask Mike to do the Pledge of Allegiance because I forgot to ask anybody.
Very good.
Here you go, Mike. Mike. Go ahead.
Here's the mic.
Georgia Light.
Okay,
Here's the mic, Mike.
okay, if you guys would join me in addressing the flag.
Hello,
Hello, flag. And join me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And Mike, I'd like to ask Mark to do We Care.
All right, we have a detail today. Got one.
We have a new piece of equipment. We have a lavalier mic. And I dropped it about. Well, thank you very much. Best thing that's happened to me today.
Did you put the banner?
No.
Waking up at your age.
Wait, you come at my age is right. So, couple of people have, oh, let me get Bill Burke up here to do our inspiration.
Now you need a mic. Here you go, Bill.
No, now I need a mic.
Please, thank you.
I've titled this Inspiration That's Missing. My story begins back in 1950, September, as a matter of fact. Girlfriend and I were in the library studying. Neither one of us really wanted to study too much. She passed me a note. She said, "What would you like to do when you grow up for fun?" I thought about it for a minute. I tore a piece of paper out of my notebook and I wrote something that I put it face down on the table in front of us. I gave her a slip. She did the same. A few minutes later, we looked at one another, we turned them over. They both said, travel. Now, you need to know at that time, she was 16. She graduated early from high school. I was 18. 1 year later, when she was 17 and I was 20, we were married. And travel was our passion all through the 56 years that we shared together. I faced anyway, he stopped working when our first child was born, 1956, and then we had another girl in 1957. But a year later, year after that, we started month-long camping trips, car camping trips all around Western United States. And we started our travel passion. It was moving. In 1968, Rotary became a part of our lives. After the first couple of meetings at my new club in San Gabriel, I started to look around. And I saw, we had about 60, 70 members, something like that. But I noticed on the wall, we had our Rotary Club banner, and we had the four-way test. And then there was another banner hanging up there with a lot of little pieces of cloth on them. And afterwards, I went over and looked at it closely, and some guy came up and said, "Hey, you know what those are?" I said, "No." He said, "Those are club banners from clubs that members have attended and made up. Back in those days, you had to make up. You had to attend Rotary every week, or else you got kicked out of the club." And I was a member of a club that did have annually, every year, we cleared the membership list of those who didn't attend. I was really impressed by that. And the more I thought about it, and I talked to Dee about it, she was kind of inspired too. That as we traveled, we should start to make up the Rotary clubs. Now, she didn't, because there were no women in Rotary back in those years, but I did. And over the years, I ended up perhaps somewhere around 24, 26 different countries where I was able to make up. I found Rotarians alike wherever I went. There were some meetings that I attended, or they were speaking a foreign language that I didn't know, and I sat there just smiling. Occasionally, there would be someone who knew English who would sit next to me and keep me posted on what was happening in the club. But always a friendly attitude. That inspiration came from those little flags. The banners, and we have a club banner. Some new members probably have never seen one. I need to let you know that I dug this out of my suitcase. I have a little pocket, a suitcase where there's things that I take wherever I go, and it's always with me. In years past, Rotary published a directory. It was about 2 inches thick. And it came out every second year and it cost $5. And I carried those directories with me for a lot of years. Today you can go online. In my travels now, I'm pretty much limited to cruising, as you're probably aware. I find it very, very difficult to find noontime clubs at places where cruise ships stop, because that means the local businesses are primarily tourist businesses, and everybody has to work during the day. So those clubs usually meet at night, and my shift is long gone before the night comes up. But that flag goes with me, and I'm all ever hopeful that I'll find yet another place. Over the years, I have some cherished memories from many of those visits. One that comes to mind very quickly was a meeting with the Moscow Club during its first 3 months of existence. It was still, well, it was the tail end of the Soviet era, 1990. I had taken a group of school administrators and school board members to Troitsk, where I sponsored a student exchange, and I wanted the board members to know what was happening with their kids when they were here. Anyway, the speaker that evening spoke about banking. And I've never seen such an attentive audience. All men, of course, still men. Leaning forward, listening to every single word. And the speaker finally closed by telling everybody that we had some people from the United States who were making up in our club, and asked them asked them your questions, because they can tell you. And we were just surrounded immediately with questions coming at a little bit, and all in Russian, of course, but our interpreters helped us out. Some of you remember Bob Hagler.
Yeah.
Bob was in that trip, and he happened to have his checkbook. And that checkbook was looked at by every single person in the room. They couldn't believe that you would put your money in a bank and trust that it would be there when you wrote a check. That was the Soviet angles. They did not believe in government, which kind of sounds a little familiar. Another really fun experience in Panama, Portugal. I found the place where the club was meeting. It was a night meeting in a hotel. When I got to the hotel, they directed me into a small dining room, and there were only 7 or 8 people around the table. And then I expected a much larger club for Panama, which is a good size. I was invited to sit down. They invited me to have dinner with them. They did. They didn't charge me for it. I was their guest. I was introduced around, and I was using my guidebook Portuguese to try to tell them who I was, introduce myself. They recognized the fact that I was having a little difficulty with the language. One of those that they introduced was the speaker of the evening. A young Lutheran Catholic priest and his fiancee. That's another subject. After dinner, we went into a large room and there must have been 50 people there. The men had brought their wives to hear this very special speaker. His text was Sexto y Muerte. Sexto y Muerte. Sex and death. And how each could either be or something, the beginning of something really beautiful. That priest used as many cognates as he possibly could, but I swear I sat there listening and understanding what he was saying. Even with a little bit, very little bit of Portuguese that I had. That evening has stayed with me for all these years. At that club, I met a young man who spoke marvelous English, who invited Dee and I to spend the next day with him, and he toured us all around that area. His wife was a junior high school English teacher, and there was a marvelous in contact with him for a long time after that. I guess what I'm trying to suggest is that I was inspired when I saw all of those banners hanging on the walls. We took those banners down probably 40 years ago, sometime in the 80s. As I recall, I had a half a dozen banners to attach, and then both of those banners were full. And so Dee volunteered to redo the whole thing, but when she got them home, the banners, our banners, were so modern. She says, I don't think we can sew anything on this. And I brought it back to the father, said, we need some new banners. That was the end of it. We haven't seen those banners. I'm sure they're in storage someplace. And it would be fun to bring them out again. My inspiration came from those banners. And the inspiration I would like to leave with you perhaps is carry banners with you, secretary with people, 2 or 3, and find other clubs that you can attend. It'll be just so interesting to see how they are very much like us. They have very much the same interest we have in service. They have unbelievable projects that they are working on diligently. And just like us, they're trying to serve their communities the best way possible. I hope that this banner and those that perhaps we can get on show sometime will be an inspiration to you also.
Thank you, Bill. I have a couple things to tell you. Dr. Burke. I have a couple things to tell you. First of all, I was in Troyes, and I don't know if I was on that trip, but I was on a trip in Troyes with Bob Hagler, who at St. Mary's was my dad's best friend. I think we were on the same trip. And remember the train to St. Petersburg in the sleeping cars? We didn't sleep, we just drank vodka. What's that?
They changed the name after the Soviets, so it's probably
Yeah.
Leningrad.
Well, it was Leningrad when we went, because it was, I was there in 90. So but the other thing, the most important thing is that Sherry Simone and I have been talking about creating a banner where we put flags on it. And so we're gonna try and do that. If not this year, next year, but we'd like to do it. We have a lot of banners still.
There are.
Yeah. Okay. All right, I have a bunch, so I think I have 14.
Okay.
Wow. All right, so thank you. And what I'd like to do is see if we have any guests of Rotarians. Oh, Bob.
Thank you, President Jim. Fellow Rotarians and guests, I'd like to introduce my wife of, gotta do the math, 38 years, is that right? 37? Something like that.
You're in trouble. Just go for the date.
Is that all right, Karen?
So fellow Rotarians and guests, I'd like to, go ahead and stand up, Jeff. I'd like to introduce a guest of mine, Jeff Bill. Jeff and our daughters played softball when they're, I think, kindergarten, first grade, second grade, and same time period when President Jim Hansen was president or principal of Amador Valley High School. So, and Jeff is the president of Bayworks. It is a company that does custom application and custom website development. So please welcome Jeff.
Any more guests of Rotarians? No more guests of Rotarians? How about visiting Rotarians? I see one.
Here, I saw. Good afternoon. My pleasure to introduce from the Government Club, past president, in the category of shocking and all amped up. Doug Nutt.
Any other visiting Rotarians? Okay, I have a couple people that have asked to make comments or to make announcements. Sherry Simone.
We do have a Zoomer if you want to say
Oh.
hello.
Oh, yes. Hey, Steve.
Hey there, good to see you.
Welcome.
Bill, I just want to say that inspiration was just wonderful. It really touched my heart. So thank you very much for sharing.
Yes. Thank you, Steve.
Good to see you.
So Sherry?
Yes. So as many of you know, I traveled. Little did I know this was gonna be a birthday gift too, so just so you know, I'm the only one that brought you a birthday gift, thank you. But I started out in Turkey, so I brought you some Turkish delights.
Oh, cool.
And then part of the trip was in Greece, so I brought you Greek salad.
Very good.
Somehow it's all food. And the other thing I want to just say, so Saturday was the district conference. And I know that this club doesn't really engage with the district, I think as much as other clubs. And I just wanted to thank a couple people for their contributions. Mark Tanis gave a amazing forum on cybersecurity, so thank you. Richard's not here, but Richard built the website that you could go to find out all the information on our speakers. We had 3 really great speakers. We had over 300 people there. It's really great. I want to thank Ricky for his AV help. I want to thank Heidi for attending. Oh, wow. There were a couple folks that are blue badger or red badgers.
Kevin Gundry.
You have a microphone. So,
Mark Francis attended.
oh my God, you guys, I know them. My presentation. Anyway, I know that they came to help satisfy their blue badge, but Mark, what did you think of the district conference?
Yeah. First, I was very fortunate to be able to thank you, Jennifer, for helping me out with that, and I was thinking,
Thanks very much.
I really was inspired, akin to what Bill Burke said. Everyone I met was really, really nice. So not only in the clubs that you visit outside of this club, I found everybody at the district was great, and it really enlightened me. There was a lot of, I would say it was eye-opening. I'm still learning Rotary, and I'm now a little more educated on what other clubs are doing, how it relates to this club, and now how it relates at the higher level. And I think, I don't know if you all know, but Sherry was a co-chair, and she did a great job of putting that all together. So it was very good. I really appreciate it.
We had great food, but unfortunately Kevin Gundry, who we all know is partially eating, didn't get to enjoy it, but I want to thank you for attending. Did I miss anybody? Anyway, it was a great event and hopefully I don't have to co-chair next year. But I really would encourage you, next year, actually, it's in Reno. They're doing 3 or 4 districts are getting together. And it's gonna be kind of a party. And as you know, Herb Ritter is our next district governor. So there's discounts if you want to go. It's on the district website. If you sign up before the end of June. Everybody's taking a train. It's like a $40 a train. So the party starts here and goes all the way to Reno. So anyway, thanks very much for supporting the event that I was involved in and supporting the district. They really do a lot for the clubs.
Sherry. Roger Emmett has an announcement. Oh, need the microphone.
Thank you. Well, Mike Craig got rained on a little bit, but your incredible inspirational speech, and someone else that just got back from Turkey. But I just got back from Europe. I started out in Germany, went to a few other countries and ended up in Turkey. And I went to a Rotary meeting in Goslar, Germany. First night I was in Goslar, I found a brew house, believe it or not. They had beers and some good food. Went back to the Airbnb, and the next day I looked up where was the Rotary meeting. It was at the same place. So I went over there at lunchtime, and it was the whole Rotary group was 2 guys and myself. And we had beer, they had schnitzel, and it was really nice. And one of them, Ottmar, was the mayor, previous mayor. So he said, give that to your president, and when he comes to Goslar, they'll buy you a beer. Also brought back, my last stop was in Turkey. I brought back Turkish delight also, but I hate it.
Thank you. Roger, I'll keep that. Thank you. I do have an announcement by Mark Francis.
Yes.
Another traveler. All right, you're scoring today, Jim.
What's your birthday?
It's my birthday.
Yeah, I was also traveling, and I was on the poker committee, but that happened to coincide with a gift of a timeshare stay in Marbella, Spain, so I elected to do that. But next year, I'll do the poker tournament for sure. I did bring you a couple of things, Jim.
Okay.
Spain is the largest producer of olive oil in the world, so they had something to share.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you.
Yeah, and of course, some olives to go along with that.
Olives are always good.
And a very, very tiny box of saffron,
Okay,
used sparingly.
okay, thank you.
And one of the most interesting things I saw was some cashews from Trader Joe's sold at an Aldi.
There we are.
I don't know. I don't know if they have a partnership or some relationship or it's a copyright infringement. I have no idea, but I just thought it was interesting. So there you go.
Very
Happy
cool.
birthday.
Thank you.
So if you look at the screen, you can see a picture of Mark there taking a photo from Gibraltar. So if you are traveling and you take a picture, we'll make sure we get that up on our website showing kind of like holding up the wasn't it holding up the paper, the Pleasanton Weekly. Instead, you don't even have to have Pleasant Weekly. We'll still show it on our website, and you can see the Rotary seal there. So that's pretty cool.
So, thank you. Thank you, Mark. At the conference, our district, our club received a certificate from the district, and we were awarded the Global Impact Award. So I'd like to ask Gary and Tom, I don't think Dick is here, but I just want you to stand up and accept applause, because I think the work that you do with Rotoglass, the work you and Nancy do in WASH, and the work that Dick and his crew do in wheelchairs is amazing, and that's the reason we received this. So you guys could stand up and look at it. All right, so just some quick announcements and then we'll start the program. don't forget, next week's a busy week, and there's going to be a very kind, gentle, event Tuesday night. Kind and gentle, called devotion dinner. Yeah, so that's Tuesday night.
Wait.
It's not.
Oh, no,
It's a week from Tuesday.
I do that. I move it. I move it.
Or, we have to change the script again.
Already checked out.
And the Thursday after that, our TTT will be at Rotary Park, and we'll be doing the 60th anniversary celebration. And Mike, I think, will send out some information, so there we go. So at this time, let me make sure I've done everything. Done. Bob.
Turn your mic on, Bob.
Still not, oh, there we go. All right, do you want, oh, you have it now, I have that.
Right.
Let me turn this off too.
Thank you, President Jim. This is one of my favorite meetings. You know, we spend a lot of time as a group, I was gonna say as a company, as a group, doing great things in our community and doing great things across the world, quite frankly. But it's nice to always look back and say, to do those things requires money. And we do a couple of things every year that generate a lot of money. This is one of them that all goes to our foundation that allows us to accomplish the things that we do in our organization. So today, we're going to recognize a lot of folks for their contributions to an event that is becoming, you know, one of our staples, one of our two kind of primary recruiting events every year. And happens to be a lot of fun and a kind of a passion of mine. So with that, we'll get going.
Okay, you want the pictures? What do you want?
No, the presentation.
Oh, I knew that.
Yeah. So I think we've mentioned this before, you know, this is our 10th annual event. It's hard to believe that, and actually it's more years than it is events because we had COVID in there. I think we missed 2 years in a row. So we've really been doing this for 12 years now. But this is our 10th event. Back when we started, I think we had 30 players and we made like $1,000. For those of you who remember that, we had sandwiches that we used for the dinner. It was just very shoestring, kind of rinky-dink kind of operation. And this year we had almost 90 players. We had a slew of volunteers. We had over 20 sponsors and donors. I mean, so it's just grown significantly. And you'll see what that translates to and do what that means for our foundation. So go ahead and do the next slide. So first of all, thank you. And really, there's 5 constituencies here whenever you put on an event. And this one, I want to make sure that we touch on each one of those because they're all equally important. So the first constituency are the sponsors. And so we have 3 buckets of sponsors for this event. Well, what I call the nameplate sponsors, those are all the ones, what you used to be able to see on them. These are financial sponsors that donate money to the event, and we recognize them at the event. They get their names on all of our marketing materials. But we also have raffle basket sponsors. So some of you, most of you in this room, or some of you in this room donated money so that we could buy raffle baskets so that we could then use them for our raffle. So that's fantastic. And then we also have in-kind providers. And so that's Select Imaging, who did a lot of the graphic work for us, and also Crown Trophy, who does the awards that we'll talk about in a minute. So we like to say, you know, sometimes we focus on the nameplate sponsors, but we always want to make sure we also recognize the folks that contributed in other ways as well. So that's the first bucket of constituents. The second bucket is donors. So we have a lot of donors, and we'll talk about them more specifically in a minute, but people that actually donate things to the event that we can either use in our silent auction or to sell to people that show up. The participants themselves, big group, and volunteers, and our committee members. So those are the 5 big constituents that we're going to talk about today. But first of all, what's the bottom line, right? So this year, $25,000 in net profit. 25-ish. So we haven't kind of done the final accounting. Could be a few hundred more, could be a few hundred less. But all of that money, as I mentioned, goes to the Rotary Club of Pleasant Foundation. And then one more click, Ricky. And that, of course, supports our four major initiatives within the Rotary Club of Pleasanton Foundation. All right, so unfortunately, we don't have either of our champions here today, so this will go relatively quickly. But first, the Rotary Cup, the coveted Rotary Cup. So we actually spent some of our marketing money this year and invested in a new and improved Rotary Club Cup. I mean, look at this thing. This is fantastic. This is going to last us another probably 12 years or so. And this year's winner is, click again, James P. White, who goes by Jimmy, except when he gets his name on the cup, but he wants to be James P. White. So if Jimmy were here, we would present him with the cup. For those of you that have been around long enough, you know that you actually get to keep this cup. So this cup goes with you, you take it, you can do whatever you want with it. We don't ask you what you've done with it. We ask that you don't tell us what you've done with it. But about a month before the tournament, we come back and bring it back, right, Bob? Bob had the old cup. I bet you're jealous now, right? You have had this thing for a year.
Your name's on it still.
And still, your name's still on it. So, James White, and again, for those of you who don't know what the Rotary Cup is, it's for the person that outlasted all other Rotary members in Area 4. So Jimmy was at the final table. I think he came in what, like fifth? Third? So he outlasted everybody else in Rotary. So we'll keep that for him one day when he shows up. And then, of course, we have the overall winner, the winner that wins the whole event. And so that went to Brian Hansen, the son of our own president, Jim Hansen. So Jim, I know Brian was not able to make it today, unfortunately, but because it's your birthday, we will present you with
Go that way.
no, because we both have ours, so I'll like this is like COVID years. So I will present you with the award here for overall winner of the event, Brian. And Karen and I were talking about, did he win before? Is this his second time?
He came in third.
Okay.
So this is, I was on this.
Yes.
I still am.
Yeah. But just once.
Yeah.
Now, once you get on there multiple times, like some of us, then we'll talk about how
The first
that
year.
works, right? So those are our champions. That's kind of what we play for. Those of you who are participants, that's the goal. The goal is to either get the cup or to get the overall trophy. And actually, if you're a Rotarian, you get both if you win the whole thing. The last person to do that was Mr. Mike Osterman, who won the event and got his name on the cup. So.
Am I the only Rotarian that's come in first place ever?
I believe so. Yeah, I believe so. Oops, now you're moving too fast over here. So anyway, so I wanted to talk about donors. And again, we don't often talk about donors as much as I think we should. So I wanted to recognize, and we have two buckets of donors. One are people that give us stuff for the event. And so these were our three big donors this year. Costco gave us some money and some wine. Altamont Beer Works gave us some beer. And Grocery Outlet gave us a bunch of liquor. What else did they do? Is that what they gave us? Just basically they told Roger he could go in and get as much liquor as he could fit in a box. So Roger went in and just scooped up a bunch of liquor and brought it to the event that we then used to help improve our margins because we could turn around and sell. But also I want to recognize our silent auction donors. And so Mark Sweeney, who many of you know, very well-known person in the community, he donates pretty much every year a foursome at Ruby Hill. So, and then he meets you and has like appetizers and buys drinks for you. So that's he donated that again this year. Tom Fox, who does a foursome, Tom right there, and does a threesome with Tom at Castlewood. And so actually Mike and Bill Evans and I are going to be playing tomorrow because I won that a year ago. So thank you, Tom. Livermore Pleasanton Fire Department always donates a free dinner, like they make you dinner at one of any firehouse of your choosing in the Tri-Valley area or the Livermore Pleasanton area. Go ahead. Rose Hotel and our very own Ruby and Roses, they donated a night and a gift card for a dinner here. Clay Bay Golf Course, foursome up there as well. Black Tie Transportation donated a trip to Livermore Wine Valley, like a 4-hour excursion, or no, Livermore, through the Livermore wine region. And Las Positas, another golf thing. Hands on Fire donated some merchandise and a gift card. And Joshua Kaplan, who you don't know, what is his name? He's the dog whisperer or something like that. Yeah, he's a dog trainer. He donated a big training block of time for training for dogs. And then lastly, our own Roger Emmett, who graciously donated another thing that I won this year, a condo on the west shore of Maui, right? Like the northwest shore, right? So that's gonna be a lot of fun. So now we get to our nameplate sponsors. So these are everybody that donated financially to the event. You can see, you know, I mentioned like our first year, I think we had like 5 sponsors or something like that. I actually have to go back and look at our records to see kind of how we've grown over the year. But, you know, I think this is like 23 or 24. And so like most events, we have tiers of sponsorships. And so we're going to kind of walk through each of the tiers and recognize each of those sponsors. And so I've asked Mike to come up here and help me with this because Mike was our co-chair of sponsorship, the co-chair of awards, I'm sorry, and sponsor recognition. And also Randy, if you could come up, because he's our co-chair of sponsors. And Ricky, unfortunately, you got to run
I'll sit right where I am.
you got to run the technology. So Randy and Ricky and Lisa basically went out in the community and got a bunch of people to sponsor. And then Mike put together the awards, coordinated all of the trophies and things like that, and helped put together a lunch here. So we're going to collectively recognize folks. So go ahead, Ricky. So the first group was what we call the straight level. So again, we tried to tie it to the poker theme. So we have straight, flush, four of a kind, and our full house and four of a kind level sponsors. So at the straight level, I'd like to recognize folks here. And I think some of these folks are not here, but I know I've seen Julio. So if you could just come up here because we're going to take a picture with you, Julio Young. For the Amy? No. And then Larry Annis. And then Matt DePretis. And Jim Golseth. And Gary Schwager. Because I did not see Sunshine Saloon representative anywhere. So the other ones here is like Sunshine Saloon, Custom Moving Solutions, Big O Tire, Josh Cherry from Big O Tires were not able to make it, and Karen Kim from Old Center were not able to make it as well. So and Amber Haskett was not able to make it as well. Well, hold on, we gotta get the picture.
Okay, well.
But
Well, if you, that mic's got feedback if you get right in front of the. Okay,
going in fullness.
I get in the picture?
yeah, sure, please, no, go for it.
Should I be in the middle or on the?
It doesn't,
Yeah, we have a limited amount of time.
I'm gonna do that to take the picture. All right, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, good.
Thank you all very much. All of these sponsors played in, or have representatives that played in the tournament, and so nobody won the cup. So out of that group. So the next group here is the flush level and above, and because this was our 10th anniversary, we wanted to provide something special for this group. And so when I mention your name, come on up and we will present you with a bag. So, well, yeah. So,
Do you wanna maybe pull that stuff out and show them what's in the bag?
but then we gotta put it back in the bag. So I'm not, this is why Mike runs this stuff and not me. So who's?
This is Deanna.
So, who? Oh, Deanna Mario. Come on up. So Mario Holmes. So for at least a few years, Deanna's company has been at this level of sponsorship and above. And so Deanna, we greatly appreciate it and wanted to give you, for our 10th anniversary, something a little bit special here.
So Deanna, can I jump in here?
Yes, you may.
Okay. So what we're giving to all of these sponsors at this level is a plaque recognizing that they contributed to the event, a bottle of Patron.
Oh, my daughter will love that.
And 4 shot glasses. So you can go home and you can reprint those.
Yeah, who wants to come over?
So,
Yeah.
so then we'll put this all back in your little bag here. We're not gonna take everybody's out, just Deanna's. You'll all get the same thing.
Trust me.
And you have to be a little bit careful with these bags. These bags are not 100% secure.
Yeah, we were-
Hold it from the bottom.
We were running up against our budget at the end here. So.
Are we gonna do a group here?
Yes. So just, yeah, we'll try to
Hang out there, yeah.
hustle through this. So Custom Exteriors, Kevin Gundry, who's also a member of our committee. Kevin, come on up. So first,
Now, is that on your, medical?
can't drink that.
I'm not giving it to you. See the way you guys drink.
and then our next one is representing Fremont Bank, Brian Gentry. So Brian, Fremont Bank's been Fremont Bank has been at this level for many, many years, so we appreciate it, Brian, all your support, and thank you for helping in that area. And then, you know, this one we didn't get two, but they are two that kind of combined to one sponsor is Bill and Roger, Bill Evans and Roger Emmett. But you only get one gift though. So.
Yeah, we share.
And then, I don't know, did, Aya Summerfield from oh, you're there, oh, yeah, come on up. So this is our, oh, I'm sorry, no, sit down, yeah, sorry, they were all mixed together, we had Jeff Bailey, who you see here on the list too. Jeff Bailey's not here, unfortunately, he's, traveling, so he will not be able to make it. Daniel Curtis from Triangle Construction, he's also not able to make it today. And Billy Buckley, I didn't see him here today, so Billy is not able to make it. Billy Buckley is ENT Networks. And then, yeah, Pleasanton North Rotary. I don't think anybody from the PPOA. Police Officer Association, they're out serving the community, so nobody there from that. Yeah, Brothers Inspections, I think somebody was supposed to come, but then they ended up not being able to come. And then Eric Martin, I didn't see Eric Martin here today. Okay, so Eric's on. And then, okay, well, we know this one's here. J. Michael Hosterman. So Mike Hosterman. So let's.
Are you guys shaking hands or we just?
Well, we're gonna go down the line and shake hands and then also take a picture. Yeah.
Here, you can,
Let's take a picture.
you can stand in front of this now.
Thank you. You, Brian.
Do I shake hands? You can do that.
I'll get behind you here, so I can. I gotta turn around and take a Oh, I'm there, wherever you were.
If you put your labels out, then we'll have that in the picture. Very good, guys. I
All right.
figured out before I told you that, huh?
Go poker Rotary poker.
Rotary poker.
Photo. Okay, yeah,
All right.
right.
Just there.
Okay, now we're done.
All right. All right, and then, we're
A lot of moving parts today.
And then at the event, at the high event level, so my firm, the Arbor Advisory Group, donated here, as I mentioned, this is a big passion project of mine, so, so I was at the full house level, and then, Aya Summerfield, you come up, and, Heritage Bank has been a significant supporter of this event for many, many, many years. And they were the title sponsor this year, and, just want to make sure that we recognize them as well, because it's fantastic sponsorship of this event, so we really.
Thank you.
Awesome. All right, and then I just want to talk a little bit about our committee, for those of you who are interested in having a great time and helping the club save money. I mean, not save money, make money. So, you know, as we all know, in this club, we're all run by committees. The club is generally run by committees, so it takes committees to get things done. A lot of times people think like, oh, this stuff just happens, right? It just kind of happened and people don't realize all the work that went into it. So I just want to take a few minutes here. Yeah, for months. I mean, we started this in January. You know, as Kevin said, we tend to drink a lot. So I don't know that all of our meetings were 100% productive. We probably could have cut it down to maybe, I don't know, 3 or 4 weeks. And then we play poker afterwards. So it's a lot of fun. So if you're interested in that, then next year we'll come out to the club and hit everybody up to see if they want to join our committee for next year. But I did want to recognize the folks on the committee. So as the chair is here, Roger Emmett, just please stand up if you're a committee member. So Roger Emmett was co-chair. He was one of our volunteer coordinators, and then, in charge of what we call in-event experiences, which was the photo booth and some of the other things that happened, inside the event. Bill Evans, go ahead and stand up, Bill. Bill is our regulatory, compliance manager, I call him, so he gets all the approvals. For those of you who don't know, I mean, you gotta actually like go to the state and get approved to run these events and get licenses and all that kind of stuff. I mean, it's actually a big deal. So Bill does all that for us, and he was also our volunteer coordinator. Linda, Bill's wife, was in charge of decorations. Ricky, sponsorships co-chair of subcommittee. Randy Brown, sponsorships, and he was our bar manager, as well as Lisa, who ran kind of the silent auction, the raffle, as well as being a bar manager. Mike Osterman here, food service and sponsor recognition and awards. Kevin Gundry, who did our traditional marketing, he was a subcommittee member. And Jeff Williams, who did our external PR. John Fay is our treasurer. And Mark Francis, you heard him talk a little bit about his like internal PR. We didn't do a whole lot with that this year and or external, but we wanted to make them formal roles as we go forward. These are going to become bigger efforts for us in terms of getting more participants to play. So in conclusion, I just want to say thank you all for your support. Not only if you've supported us in one of the ways that we talked about, but just the club itself is very supportive in terms of helping us get the word out to the community, helping us get your friends and family members to come and play, or just to attend the event. Very proud of when I go back and I think about where we started, it's just very proud to think of how we got here and now are generating a very significant amount of money for our club foundation. So thank you very much. Thank you all for all the fun.
Get a picture with yourself.
I was in a lot of those pictures, so yeah.
Have it, Jim.
There it goes. I'm on. Well, thank you to the Bob and the entire committee for a wonderful event, and having been there and watched my son win, it was pretty incredible. It was a lot of fun. I played too and got past 1 or 2 tables. It was fun. Thank you so much for all you guys do. And it was, whoops, that's not it. We have an opportunity drawing. Bob, you have to pick the ticket.
Oh, you're gonna select everybody. She's a lot like you.
Oh, yeah, Karen.
She's not getting.
$27.
$27.
Oh, beautiful.
I'll have Karen pick that.
You're gonna do the drawing?
No, I mean, Karen.
No.
You can read off Bob's microphone.
I turned around.
570.
570.
I was actually gonna call this the Julia drawing.
Oh.
Okay, do it again.
27
And again.
bucks.
Okay, why don't you stand up here then?
571.
Told you, don't go anywhere.
I told you this was gonna happen.
And you started to leave.
32.
All right.
Well, thank you, Dave.
Okay.
Thank you, Julio. And this meeting is adjourned.
Okay.